Stop. Right now. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're responding to, whatever argument you're still replaying in your head, stop. Don't reply. Don't explain. Don't defend. Don't react. Just disappear. Not in anger, not dramatically, not with a speech, not with a goodbye. Quietly, completely, without warning. Because something strange, something almost unsettling, begins to happen when you do. People who were completely comfortable with you, they become uncomfortable. People who ignored you like you were invisible, suddenly, they start noticing you. People who had control over you for years, they start losing it. Slowly at first, then all at once. And the ones who took you for granted, the ones who knew you'd always be there no matter what, they begin to feel something they've never felt before, something they don't have a word for. A lack of access. And that, right there, is where everything begins to change. You were conditioned to be available. Here's something that might hit harder than you expect. You weren't born like this. You weren't born needing to reply within minutes. You weren't born desperate to explain yourself. You weren't born fearing silence. You were shaped into it. From the moment you were old enough to understand social expectations, you were trained. Be polite. Respond quickly. Don't ignore people. Explain yourself when questioned. Say yes, even when every single cell in your body is screaming no. And slowly, over years, over hundreds of little moments where you swallowed your discomfort to keep someone else comfortable, that became your identity. The one who's always there. The one who understands. The one who doesn't cause problems. The one who keeps everything smooth. The reliable one. The safe one. The one you can always count on. And at first, it feels like a superpower. People come to you. They rely on you. They trust you. They call you first. And that feels good. It gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of importance, a deep sense of being needed. But here's the brutal truth that nobody tells you. Being needed is not the same as being respected. Being available is not the same as being valued. And being relied on is not the same as being chosen. Carl Jung spent decades studying the masks people wear in society. He called it the persona, the social face we build to function, to be accepted, to be loved. But he also warned about something dark. What happens when the mask stays on too long? What happens when people only know the mask, never the face underneath? You stop being seen as a person. You start being seen as a function. And functions? They don't get respected. They get used. You became a pattern, not a person. Let's be brutally honest. Right now, today, there are people in your life who have completely figured you out. Not your depth, not your pain, not your dreams, your behavior. They've learned the pattern. They know you'll reply fast even when you're busy. They know you won't ignore them, even when they ignored you. They know you'll forgive things you probably shouldn't forgive. They know you'll stay longer than you should in conversations that drain you. They know you'll show up, even when they don't. They don't even test it anymore. Because they know you are no longer unpredictable to them. You are no longer a mystery. You are not a person with layers they're still trying to understand. You are a system. And systems can be controlled. Think about it. Think about that one specific person in your life. You know who they are. The one who disappears for days, goes cold, gives no explanation, then shows back up like nothing happened. Like time doesn't exist. Like you weren't sitting there wondering what you did wrong. And what do? You respond. Every single time. Maybe a little slower. Maybe with a little more distance in your tone. Maybe with a coldness you think they'll notice. But you still respond. You're still there. Still accessible. Still available. Still predictable. And that is exactly why nothing changes. Because why would they change? You already absorbed their behavior. You already adjusted. You already adapted. They don't feel the weight of what they did, because you never let them feel it. Predictability removes tension, and without tension, there is no consequence. And without consequence, there is no respect. The moment you withdraw, everything shifts. Now imagine something completely different. A message comes in. You see it, you read it, and you don't respond. Not because you're playing games, not because you're being petty, but because you've decided. You've decided your energy is worth more than instant availability. Minutes pass, then hours, then a full day goes by. No explanation, no apology, no emotional reaction, no soft sorry was busy to make them comfortable. Just silence. And at first, nothing seems to happen, but underneath the surface, something is shifting. They check your last scene, they reopen the conversation to reread what they sent. They start typing, then delete it. They put the phone down, pick it up again, stare at the screen. Why aren't they replying? Did I say something? Are they okay? Did I lose them? What changed? And just like that, the dynamic flips. Now they're thinking about you. Now they're wondering what you're thinking. Now they're the one uncomfortable with the silence. Carl Jung described projection as the psychological process where the mind, unable to handle uncertainty, projects its own fears and assumptions onto the unknown. When you become unreadable, when people can't predict you, they don't stay rational. They don't stay calm. They project. They fill your silence with their deepest insecurities, their fears, their guilt. Things they never said out loud suddenly surface inside them. Your silence becomes a mirror, an uncomfortable, unflinching mirror. And most people have spent their entire lives running from mirrors like that. You are bleeding energy without knowing it. Every time you react emotionally when you don't need to, you give something away. Every time you explain yourself to someone who wasn't even asking in good faith, you surrender your position. Every time you over-apologize, you lower your worth in that interaction. Every time you engage in a conversation that leaves you feeling hollow, you weaken your center. You think you're maintaining connection. You think you're keeping the peace. But what you're actually doing is leaking. Carl Jung viewed the human psyche as an energy system, not metaphorically, but structurally. He believed that psychological energy, like physical energy, is finite. It flows, it depletes. And when drained without replenishment, it creates collapse from the inside. Now be honest with yourself. How much of your daily energy goes into replaying conversations that already ended, rereading messages trying to decode tone, rehearsing arguments in the shower, trying to fix people who never asked to be fixed, trying to be understood by people who choose not to understand you, trying to prove your worth to people who've already decided how they see you. And at the end of all that, what do you receive? Peace or exhaustion? Because here is the dark, uncomfortable truth. The more energy you give without protection, without boundaries, without intention, the less people value it. It's not cruelty, it's psychology. What is always available feels cheap. What is scarce feels precious. You are not cheap, but you've been pricing yourself that way. Silence is the most misunderstood form of power. Let's dismantle something you were taught your entire life. You were taught that silence is weakness, that if you don't respond, you've lost, that if you don't explain yourself, you look guilty, that if you don't defend yourself when attacked, you look weak, that if you go quiet, you'll be forgotten. That visibility equals value, but that's a lie designed to keep you reactive, to keep you easy to manage, to keep you in a position where others hold the remote control. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. The deepest, most unsettling form of control. When you stop reacting to every provocation, you remove yourself from the game entirely. And when you're no longer playing the game, you cannot be manipulated by the rules of it. Think about any argument you've witnessed. Two people. One is emotional, voice raised, words stumbling, energy scattered. One is calm, composed, still, watching, saying very little. Who has more power in that room? The composed one. Every time. Because silence forces the other person to do something dangerous, reveal more than they intended. They talk more to fill the space you've left. They justify more. They expose more. They hand you information, vulnerability, and truth. All because you said nothing. Silence doesn't just protect you. It disarms people. Pressure reveals what people are made of, and silence is the purest pressure there is. Why people get uncomfortable when you start changing. The moment you start becoming unavailable, something predictable happens. People don't respond with understanding. They respond with discomfort. Then with pressure. Then with tactics. They question you. You've changed. They test you. Why are you being so distant? They provoke you. You're acting weird. What's your problem? But translate that honestly. What they actually mean is, you're no longer easy to control, and I don't like it. Carl Jung had a profound insight about this. He observed that people don't relate to you. They relate to the role you play. The reliable one. The available one. The one who always forgives. The one who always comes back. When you stop playing that role, you don't just change the dynamic, you shatter their reality. Because you were the stable piece in their equation. You were the variable they never had to solve for. And now the equation doesn't work. And that panic, that discomfort, that sudden aggression, that's not about you. That's about them realizing they built their comfort on something they took for granted. Some people will try to guilt you back into who you were. Some will give you the silent treatment to provoke a reaction. Some will slowly fade away. And here is where it gets powerful. Because now you see clearly. Not what they told you about their love for you. Not what they promised. Not what they performed. What they actually valued. You, or your availability. The loneliness that comes with the shift. Now we arrive at the part no motivational video will warn you about. The silence after the shift. It's heavy. You'll feel the emptiness of not being constantly needed. You'll feel the strange discomfort of not having notifications to tend to. You'll feel the echo of relationships that start to fade. And you will question everything. Did I go too far? Am I becoming cold? Is this who I want to be? Am I losing people who actually cared? And the honest answer is yes. You are losing people. But stop. What are you losing? You're not losing connection. You're losing dependency. You're losing the people who needed your reaction, not your presence. You're losing relationships built on your compliance, not your character. You're losing access to people, not the people themselves. But here's what makes it hurt. You were addicted to being needed, not in an obvious way. In the quiet, subtle way that becomes your nervous system's baseline. The constant checking, the constant responding, the constant feeling of being someone's anchor. That was a drug. And now you're in withdrawal. Your mind doesn't know what to do with quiet. It keeps reaching for something to fix, someone to respond to, something to manage. But if you stay in it, if you don't run back, something underneath begins to move. What grows in the silence? Slowly, the silence starts changing texture. Less heavy, less lonely, less like absence, more like space. You begin to think with a clarity you forgot was possible. Thoughts that were always drowned out by noise finally surface. You stop over-explaining. You stop rehearsing conversations in your head before they happen. You stop running mental courtrooms where you defend yourself to people who aren't even there. You begin to observe your life, instead of just reacting to it. And in that observation, you start seeing the patterns you were too busy to notice. Who only contacts you when they need something? Who disappears the moment you stop giving? Who shows up when you're useful and vanishes when you need? who actually sees you when there's nothing to gain. Clarity doesn't arrive with noise. Clarity arrives in silence. Carl Jung called the ultimate journey individuation, the process of becoming a fully integrated, authentic self. Not the self that was shaped by fear, not the self that was built to please, not the self that wore a mask for so long it forgot what its own face looked like. The real self. And Jung was explicit about something important. Individuation cannot happen in constant noise. It cannot happen when you are perpetually responding to others. It happens in solitude, in withdrawal, in the uncomfortable, transformative space of being alone with yourself. When you return, you're unrecognizable. Eventually, you re-enter. You come back. But you come back different, and people feel it immediately. They can't explain it. They can't put words to it, but they feel it. Something about the way you hold yourself. Something about the pause before you speak. Something about the fact that you're no longer grasping. You don't respond to every message the moment it arrives. You don't justify your choices to people who didn't ask for your well-being. You don't shrink in rooms where you used to disappear. You don't perform interest you don't feel. You don't entertain conversations that drain you just to seem agreeable. Your energy is no longer scattered in 100 directions. It's contained, concentrated, intentional, controlled. And that containment? It radiates. People notice it as presence, as depth, as an unspoken authority they can't quite name. Some will respect it instantly. Some will be confused by it. Some will feel threatened by it. Some will quietly disappear. Let them. Because the version of you that needed everyone in the room to like them is gone, and you don't miss it. The price and the reward. Let's not wrap this in false comfort. This path has a cost, a real one. You will be misunderstood. People will call you cold. They'll say you changed, and not as a compliment. You will lose relationships. Some of them will hurt to lose. There will be nights where the silence feels less like peace and more like punishment. But here is what you gain. You gain peace that doesn't depend on anyone else's behavior. You gain clarity about who is actually in your corner. You gain control, not over others, but over yourself, over your reactions, over your energy, over your presence. You stop being reactive, and you start being intentional. You stop chasing, and you start choosing. You stop adjusting yourself to make others comfortable at the cost of your own. And you start building yourself into something that doesn't need constant external validation to feel whole. And the most profound shift of all, you stop needing to be available, to feel valuable. That is not a small thing. That is everything. So I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. Not to me. To yourself. Are you ready to stop explaining yourself to people who use your explanations against you? Are you ready to stop reacting instantly to everything and start responding only when you choose? Are you ready to become someone who is no longer easy to access, easy to read, easy to control? Because that is the price. And it's a steep one. And most people who watch this video will nod along. They'll feel it deeply. And then they'll go right back to responding instantly, over-explaining, and making themselves available.